Billy Milligan is one of the most famous criminals not because of the crimes he committed, but because he possessed 24 different personalities. This is a type of mental disorder that helped him escape all charges, from robbery, rape, to murder. Billy's life is filled with endless controversies. Who is he really? Does he really have multiple personalities, or is this just a play staged by a perverted genius? If he really has multiple personalities, is it fair to his victims that he was acquitted of all charges? Doctors have concluded that his personalities merged suddenly and dramatically. But is this main personality still Billy? What is your opinion? Share below. Now let's explore the life story of Billy Milligan, the murderer with 24 personalities. In 1977, at Ohio State University, a large space with complex terrain, 4 sexual assaults occurred within 12 days, causing the community to panic. All the victims were attacked in the parking lot, where the perpetrator used a gun to control them and extort money and jewelry. The first 2 incidents took place near the medical center, the third near the dormitory, and the fourth involved an office worker. The perpetrator's area of operation was increasingly expanding, increasing people's fear. Strangely, the victims all described the perpetrator as a charismatic person, and some even agreed to give him a ride after the attack. But if he was so charismatic, why did he act so boldly? The attacks all took place in the victims' cars, making it easy for the police to collect fingerprints. Through the records, the police quickly identified the suspect as Billy Milligan, who had a criminal record in Ohio. When they searched the house, they discovered many of the victims' belongings and some beautiful paintings, which made them suspect that they were stolen. Billy was silent when he was arrested and did not deny his guilt like many other criminals. His family was shocked when they heard the news, unable to believe that someone they knew could commit such terrible crimes. When Billy went to court, due to his difficult financial situation, he was assigned lawyers, Judy and Gary. They were very dedicated to the case and quickly realized that Billy was unusual. He often drew strange pictures, such as pictures of hanging dolls, and had attempted suicide in prison. The 2 lawyers were worried that Billy was not competent to stand trial due to mental problems. By law, the defendant must understand the nature of his crime and cooperate with his lawyer. Therefore, they convinced the judge to conduct a psychological evaluation. With the judge's consent, psychologist Dorothy conducted a lengthy evaluation of Billy. The results of the evaluation left her puzzled. His IQ fluctuated daily, ranging from stupid to genius, and Billy's brainwaves were far beyond his actual age. When interacting with Billy, the 2 lawyers also noticed a clear change in his demeanor, voice, and tone. In particular, when the change occurred, his eyes showed unusual expressions. Billy's family knew about his ability to speak in many different voices, sometimes even denying that he was Billy. Many doctors and experts were called to evaluate his condition. On March 12, 1978, they concluded that Billy was unfit to stand trial. However, Dr. Harding, the chief judge, could not determine whether he was legally insane. Harding was therefore asked to answer 2 important questions. Was Billy sane at the time of the crime, and was he aware that his actions were wrong? Harding therefore decided to conduct a psychiatric evaluation on Billy for 3 months. On March 16, 1978, Billy was transferred to Harding Hospital for a pre-trial evaluation. During this period, Dr. Wilbur was called in to evaluate Billy. She asked him 3 questions to determine whether a person had multiple personalities. Has anyone ever told you that you did something that you don't remember? Have you ever found yourself somewhere and didn't know how you got there? Have you experienced periods of time passing when you don't know what happened? The point of these 3 questions is that when one personality takes over the body, the other personalities often fall asleep and don't know what happened. This makes explaining Billy complicated. During the evaluation, the doctor identified a total of 10 personalities in Billy. One of them was Arthur, who had a British accent, a cold personality, and had control over the other personalities. Rajan was the most violent personality, spoke with a Yugoslav accent, and could read and write Serbian. Another personality, Tommy, is an escape expert, able to unlock locked rooms. Notably, Billy attempted suicide at age 16, but one of the other personalities did not want him to do so and forced him into a deep sleep. This further reinforces the idea that Billy is not the person the doctors have been dealing with all this time. So what caused Billy to have 24 different personalities? His biological father was kicked out of the house and found dead in his car. Billy's mother then returned the 3 children to her ex-husband, but he was no better. The marriage quickly fell apart, and the next man, Chalmer, gave them a real nightmare. Chalmer was an alcoholic and violent man. From the beginning, he was no different from his 2 previous fathers, but Chalmer was sick and perverted. He did everything he could to torture his wife's 3 children. Billy's 2 siblings only had to endure beatings, while Billy suffered pain that even adults could not imagine. Billy was regularly taken to a farm in the countryside, where he was raped, buried alive, and forced to drink urine. Did Billy's mother know about this abuse? She admitted that she did, but did not dare to leave her husband like before. At that time, society valued having a man in the family to earn money. Unfortunately, Billy's mother was not strong enough to raise 3 children. It was not until Billy's brother turned 16 that he had the courage to kick Chalmer out of the family. However, after nearly 10 years of suffering, Billy's soul was fragmented into many different pieces. This was a self-defense mechanism, allowing the other personalities to live freely without being haunted by painful memories. In general, multiple personalities became a way for Billy to overcome the pain of his childhood. After many years of living in a violent environment, his personalities began to rebel, leading to the use of stimulants, alcohol, and eventually criminal acts, such as kidnapping, rape, and robbery. This led to his fingerprints appearing in the state criminal records, and the police easily identified him in the Ohio State University case. Most of the robberies were committed by the Reagan personality, but not the rapes. The real culprit was the Adalana personality, a female personality with homosexual tendencies, craving love and sexual satisfaction. So, how would the legal system deal with him? The story becomes like a philosophical problem about human nature. Billy has no idea about his other personalities, like different people living in the same body. So can he be considered one person or many? Who will be held responsible? If one personality commits a crime, who will go to jail? Doctors attempt to merge the personalities together and eventually declare Billy to be a human again. Someone came to make a movie about him, but the sheriff didn't like Billy. His son went to shoot at his barn, causing Billy to lose control and shoot. He was arrested again, but the sheriff secretly recorded the conversation with Billy as evidence. But this was illegal, so the court had to drop the charges. Billy was transferred to the Timothy Moritz Center and met the doctor in Lima again. This doctor even used electric shock to treat Billy. Finally, Billy decided to run away from the hospital. To the reporters, Billy was a real person who knew how to make himself stand out. Every time his name sank, a new case would pop up. But to Billy, he was running away from the public, running away from the lies of doctors and politicians. Billy was taken to Colorado by his best friend, Jim Murray, and left his car. The car was found in Denver, so the FBI got involved and the case became a federal case. Billy then flew to Seattle to meet his brother. His brother suggested that Billy move to Bellingham to be close to his brother. Billy started a new life under the name Christopher Carr. Where did he get this identity? Before leaving, Jim gave him his social security number and a card with the name Christopher Carr. Billy went to the government to get papers and became a completely new person. Thanks to that, Billy crossed the border to live with his brother. However, his brother was worried, so he wrote down everything in his diary. He even called a lawyer in Ohio. The lawyer said that in Ohio, people were very angry and would not accept Billy back at all. Gradually, Billy began to create scary paintings and collect a lot of objects, even though he did not earn any money. When his savings were exhausted, he fell into a financial crisis, with no money left to buy medication and stimulants, which made him more and more depressed. One day, Billy met his brother and expressed his intention to run away because the area where he lived was becoming dangerous with many disappearances, making him afraid of being discovered. His brother called a doctor in Athens for advice, and the doctor advised Billy to turn himself in to California to be treated by Dr. Ralph Allison. Although Billy agreed, when he learned that Dr. Allison's address was in a prison, he refused to go and decided to escape to Florida. In Florida, he was arrested while meeting with his lawyer. The police were investigating the disappearance of a young man named Michael. Michael was last seen arguing with Billy. Billy's house cleaner discovered Michael's checks along with bank statements. When the police arrived to investigate, Billy had left to hide at his brother's house. Michael, who received monthly disability benefits from the military, had actually transferred money to Billy's account, leading to conflict between them. During his time in Bellingham, Billy manipulated Michael to make money. After Michael's death, Billy continued to spend money and use the victim's car until Michael's family reported their son missing to the police. Signs of antisocial behavior became more evident when police found blood-stained glasses similar to Michael's in Billy's belongings. However, at that time, there was no DNA testing, so there was not enough evidence to charge him. Meanwhile, Billy was taken to a psychiatric hospital in Lima, but he appeared to have almost given up on treatment, deciding to go on a hunger strike to attract media attention. This action was successful when the hospital transferred him to a different psychiatrist. This doctor, along with his lawyers, recommended to the court that Billy be treated as an outpatient. The court decided to transfer Billy to Dr. Chu at McLean Hospital for evaluation. Eventually, Dr. Chu declared that Billy had merged his personalities and was no longer a danger to the community, leading to his release. However, society did not accept him easily. No one would rent to Billy, and the Department of Corrections arranged a job as a programmer. By March 1990, Billy was threatening to kill his girlfriend Tracy, saying, "I could kill you all and no one would do anything to me because I'm insane." Unbeknownst to the police, Billy had kept a pair of glasses with Michael's blood on them, and he also confessed to harming another young man in Logan, Ohio. This begs the question, did Billy really deserve to be free with such a criminal past? Did he really have multiple personalities, or was violence just in his nature? All of these are difficult questions to answer. Yet Hollywood believes his story. James Cameron even tried to make a movie about Billy, but it fell through due to copyright issues. The state of Ohio has demanded that Billy pay back the medical expenses of the past 10 years and confiscate all profits from the book sales. Billy lived near his sister's family for the rest of his life and died of cancer on January 12, 2014. That was the tragic life of Billy Milligan.